Thank you very much, Senator Bradley. Senator Biden.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Judge Roberts, welcome. Mrs. Roberts, welcome to you. I might note at the outset, I've never heard of or seen a federal judge who wasn't independent. It's amazing what that life tenure does. Judge, as you know, there's a genuine intellectual debate going on in our country today over whether the Constitution is going to continue to expand the protections of the right to privacy, continue to empower the federal government to protect the powerless. Like the founders, I believe our Constitution is as big and as grand and as great as its people. Our constitutional journey did not stop with women being barred from being lawyers, with 10-year-olds working in coal mines, or black kids forced into different schools than white kids. Just because in the Constitution, nowhere does it mention sex discrimination, child labor, segregation. It doesn't mention it. Our constitutional journey did not stop then, and it must not stop now, Judge. And we'll be faced with equally consequential decisions in the 21st century. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over.
Okay, so if you forgot your ticket to a soccer game in Argentina, it's not a problem because you can use the microchip that's been embedded under your skin by the team. An Argentinian soccer team planning experimentally to this point to offer supporters a chance to implant a microchip in their skin. Lets them walk right through, like Easy Pass in your car.
It's an Easy Pass.
You just walk right into the stadium.
Like the Easy Pass is in your car, not in your wrist.
That's correct.
But see, I'm not really thinking about it in terms of sports as much as I would love to put one in my kids.
Well, Elon Musk's next project isn't a car or a spaceship or a solar panel. The executive's latest startup is called Neuralink, which focuses on the goal of implanting chips into human brains and also connecting brains to computers.
There's a company called Kernel, which are making chips that go into your brain, and right now they're doing it to help patients that have dementia and other things like this, but in the future, it could be for us to store, download, or even save memories.
A microscopic tag, a microscopic tag, a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement. A microscopic tag, a microscopic tag, a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement. There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over.
The Smart Mark. Throw your other devices away, because the Smart Mark is more than just a phone. It's part of you. Use it as cash. Book your travel. And even shoot video. Distribution points are all over the city. And don't let the lines discourage you. The Rook Unlimited Smart Mark is worth the wait.
I never realized how wonderful technology could make me feel. The Smart Mark has brought order to my life.
And the best part? It's absolutely free. A gift of thanks to our city from Rook Unlimited.
Mark my words, mark my words.
World order is our destiny. Submit to a Smart Mark and join the glorious victory of order over chaos. Or you will be eliminated.
It's just the good old microchip conspiracy that's been around well over 50 years now. And it often gets lumped together with claims that are far more fantastical and far less demonstrable, like Bigfoot or aliens from outer space. You know, as if the idea of implantable microchips is so outrageous. But meanwhile, when you search the word microchip on the internet, you'll get met with a vast array of articles and literature going back at least 20 years, you know. And as is the case when searching pretty much any controversial topic, most of these results are limited to articles and content from the most popular and Big Brother approved media outlets, you know, and they just write about it like it's no big deal. And these articles almost always do two things. First, they explain the numerous and practical benefits that'll be available to us when we finally accept these microchips into our society as a promoted social norm. And yes, that actually is the type of language that's been used by the press regarding this topic over the last 20 years or so. And the idea of microchipping society is usually treated with a sense of inevitability rather than just a possibility. And after singing the praises of all the positive impacts these microchips will have on society, the second thing that most of these articles will do is to address that there's a lot of Christians and conspiracy theorists who think that this coming microchip craze is a bad thing, and of course why such views are misguided or silly. And of course no credit is given to the fact that these conspiracy theorists were right, and that they're the same people who were warning the world about these things 50 plus years ago, back when the media was only mocking and ridiculing and dismissing the claims that such a thing as implantable microchips could ever even exist. And then somewhere along the way, they just literally flipped the script. And suddenly it went from there is no microchip agenda to, of course, people will be microchipped in the future. And that's a great thing that we should all be excited about. And now, as of today, searching the term microchipped will yield a bunch of the aforementioned articles that practically serve as promotional advertisements for microchipping, as well as a plethora of hit pieces against any articles or media like this very video, which establishes a connection between that word that starts with a V that I'm not allowed to talk about and microchips. And they all claim to, quote, debunk this, quote, theory without making any mention of some of the things that I'm about to show you. And look, for my channel on YouTube, I hope that the censors on that platform will recognize my freedom of thought here and observe my right to share my opinion. And for everyone else, please understand that this is just my opinion, and if my research happens to reveal something controversial, well then I guess that's just how it goes. But I'm not the authority on current events, and my views should be regarded as just that, views. The views of a concerned citizen who embraces his freedom to speak. And besides, it's not like anybody has anything to worry about here. I mean, Melinda Gates herself insists that this whole microchipping thing isn't even possible.
I know my husband is not vaccinating people and putting a microchip in her arm because that technology doesn't even exist, and he's never uttered the words out of his mouth, so...